What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review of the Medieval Spawn by McFarlane Toys. And this figure's sweet, so I was really excited when they announced this one because I feel like we're on like wave 5 now, and we haven't had Medieval Spawn. I'm so used to that one being like one of those like original types, right? So like in Series 1 or 2. So to have it in Series 5 is kind of late in my opinion, but it does look pretty good. So especially in person, I seen pictures like online, and the pictures were okay, but here in person it looks a lot better. So this one definitely has some potential. So this will definitely be one I'm customizing. So if a figure is really great, obviously you don't have to customize it. If a figure is not too great, I don't bother customizing it. But it's when a figure is great but can definitely has potential, and that kind of bothers me a little bit sometimes. So let's look real quick. So for the price, it's fine though. So you got nice silver tones there in the face, good green eyes, cool reds in the shoulder pads. I will black wash the shoulder pads for sure, and that'll bring out a lot of those details. You got some cool textures here. Looks like we got a little bit of a red paint spill right there on the white. Can touch that up pretty easy. Same thing, black wash will look nice. Black wash look good on the silver too. And the silver, you can tell, is definitely a marbled plastic, which I'm not a huge fan of the marbled plastic. It just doesn't look very real in my opinion. So I may black wash that, or actually may paint that silver. And it looks like the gauntlets are supposed to be red anyway, so probably paint those red. This part looks good though, so I really like it. So the little loincloth thing, it looks like they did a bronzish color with silver dry brushed over the top. So they put some paint application there for sure, and that looks nice. And then this is the part that I'm just disappointed by. It's just the lack of paint on the legs. So right, so I'm going to paint that red and paint a few other pieces of red too, just to make it look better. And I'll make sure I post a video on that custom too. And then you do have weapons that are pretty nice, but just silver plastic. So I will definitely probably paint those, or at least do a black wash on them to make them look a little more realistic. But overall, holistically, I don't think you need to customize it. I think it looks fine as is, especially for 25 bucks or whatever. However, it can look way better, way easier. So even if you just black wash the silver, that would just really get those details to pop. Because look at those details. Look at that. You got some nice scratches on the club foot and the horns. I mean, it looks phenomenal. So yeah, just wish we brought out some of those details a little more. So side of the package here, back of the package, and that is some sick artwork. Love this picture. So yeah, and I'd love to make it look more like that, right? So that'll take just a black wash, right, on the shoulder pads to look a little better, right? It looks like this is actually not so much a silver, is it? I don't know. Yeah, you can get away with silver. It does look silver. But as you can see, right, the gauntlets, they're red. Red on both sides, not silver. And same thing with the legs, right? So I noticed this right out of the bat when they first announced it. I was like, oh no. Because I saw the prototype and I thought like, oh, they haven't finished painting it yet. It's like a work in progress. Nah, that's just kind of what they did. So yeah, definitely going to paint those red for sure. And then you got the same artwork on the side. Man, I love that artwork. It's sick. Okay, cool. Well, let's get this opened and see what we're looking at. Okay, here's Medieval Spawn out of the package, and looking pretty good. Let's see. Let's take a close look. Got some great details. Like I said, the details on this are phenomenal. They just need a wash, and then definitely need some paint coverage too. So you see the skulls there. You could definitely add you can definitely paint those to look like skulls and they look better. Even the cape you could probably black wash and look nice too. So all these pieces just need black wash. And the textures there, man, the textures on the armor are phenomenal. So detailed. I love that. Now the gauntlets are silver. They need to be red. If you want to keep it silver, of course that's fine. What's really interesting though is all the gauntlets and the leg pieces are not really plastic. They're more like a rubber. So they're kind of like a flimsy rubber that can bend really easily, which is kind of, it feels different. But what's cool about it, I mean, you can articulate it still well, and maybe that's why they did it, so it's more flexible. But yeah, that was something that kind of surprised me a little bit. But you got some good tones. Right, this thing looks really nice. You got a nice bronze with it looks like a silver dry brushed over the top. Looks really good there. You got the weaponry that just silver. You can definitely add some stuff too. It's the normal weapons from McFarlane too, so they're a little flimsy. So I kind of, if it's anything like Shao Kahn for Mortal Kombat, if you have the skull because it's heavier on this end, or this axe, What happens is with time it kind of bends forward, so it gets very bendy. So I'm curious to see if that'll be the case here. But yeah, overall, yeah, not bad. I mean, looks fine. Like I said, black wash for sure. And then if you feel like adding some paint, you could definitely paint some stuff on here too. So, but yeah, let's get into the articulation. Okay, so the head moves up, not too far because you have the little material here, little helmet. You do get a really good look down though, so it could look down really well. You do get a pivot, pretty good tilt side to side, and it rotates really well. So you do have the armor in there, so it looks pretty good, especially in person. Like some pictures made it look like he had a really small neck, but in person it looks good. Arms can go out about that far here because then this runs into his head. Can go out, so they can go out decently, so not maybe 45, so not too far. You do have bicep swivel. You do have double jointed elbows and wrist articulation there, which is nice. You got full rotation, so you will be able to get it into some pretty good poses though, especially for being armored. Ab crunch, so crunches forward about that far, so a little far, crunches back very far, and obviously you can get some rotation in there, which is nice. The legs can go into splits about this far just because of the material. Goes up that far. You have double jointed knees, which are always nice. And then you have ankle articulation and toe articulation too with this one. The rubber here is very flimsy. So yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, and I've been thinking about it because yeah, I said I wanted to paint this red, and I think I do still. I think I'm going to try it. I'm not sure how paint would lay down on something this this flimsy, but we'll see. I'm used to painting things that are a little bit harder. But yeah, I will try it just for you all, and we'll see how it turns out and go from there. But yeah, articulation for an armored figure is pretty good. Okay, here we go. So here is the size comparison real quick. So this is the new wave. So all the characters from wave 5 of the Spawn. So, and you can see, right, Monolith towers above both of them. Medieval Spawn comes in second as far as height, and then Sin is right behind him. So let's do a quick measurement real quick. So we have Monolith, which stands 9 inches even. And that looks like that's going to get us at 23 centimeters roughly. Then we have Medieval Spawn, which looks like if you include the top of the little mask, that's 7 3/4 inches. Or that equals out to around 20 centimeters, pretty close to that. Then you have Sin, who stands at roughly about 7 inches tall. And then that puts us at about 18 centimeters. So yeah, so the height, I think they all fit in well together, because I think Medieval Spawn's supposed to be taller than your average Spawn, and Sin is kind of like your average as far as height goes. So let's measure with some other ones here real quick. Okay, so here we go with size comparison with the Scorched and Manga Spawn. So yeah, I thought it was cool that we have the Scorched now. So if you haven't read that novel, I highly recommend it. I actually really liked it. So got the first graphic novel issue. Haven't been keeping up with the comics though, but waiting for the second one. Should be out soon. But yeah, this looks good. What a fun looking team. So here we go. So as you can tell, Medieval Spawn stands taller than just about everyone on the Scorch besides Gunslinger. They made Gunslinger really tall, and I'm not sure if he's really that tall compared to everybody else in the comics, but he is quite a bit taller. And then I did get Manga Spawn back there just because Manga Spawn was kind of revealed to be, I mean, it's similar to Medieval Spawn, just a robot version for the most part. Because a lot of us, I remember when they debuted it, right, they showed just the back and cape, and I think everybody's like, oh, we got Medieval Spawn, and then it turned out to be Manga Spawn. But here we go, let's look at the size comparison real quick. So we have, looks like Medieval Spawn, like I said, stands about 7 3/4 inches tall, which puts us at around 20 centimeters. And then as you can tell, She-Spawn is about halfway up as far as his head goes. Looks like Redeemer is almost right there. And if you include Redeemer's spikes, he's probably the same height, if not a little taller even. Yep, same height with you include that. Spawn, you know, goes up about 3/4 of the way up Medieval's head. and then Gunslinger does tower over. And if you include the hat, I mean, we're talking close to 8 3/4 inches. So yeah, quite a bit taller just if you include the hat. So yeah, so let's bring the manga spawn forward and look at that real quick. Okay, cool. So I brought manga spawn forward. Just wanted to show some comparisons here. So one, obviously quite a bit taller, but it's cool that they did similar things. So you have the skull, or you have the robot skull on the side. One thing that would have been cool is if medieval spawn did come with a shield. That would have been awesome. Looks like manga spawn came with a bunch of weaponry. You have the spike shoulder, right? You have the gauntlets. You have the leg boot there. And the mask, right? And I think that's pretty cool. So they kind of mimicked it, but made it different. And as you can tell, I did customize my manga spawn because it didn't look very good out of package. It needed some paint application for sure. But if you want to check out that video, I did do a quick custom, so it's on my channel. Definitely check that out if you want. It was a super easy process, actually. So, very cool. Okay, final thoughts on Medieval Spawn. I really like this figure. So, it felt more incomplete in the pictures when they were debuting it with the, the gauntlets and stuff not being painted. However, in hand, it doesn't really feel as incomplete. So if you're looking for a cool medieval spawn for $25, this is actually a really good deal. There's good sculpt. There's decent paint application in certain spots. The articulation's great, and it's just a menacing looking figure. So I really like it a lot. Now, will I customize these? Yeah, I'm going to pick customize them just to make it look a little more premium. Definitely could benefit from a black wash for sure. But overall, I mean, I think for the price, it's a pretty good figure. So, yeah, I ended up getting these. So I ordered the full 3-pack off McFarlanetoys.com, and they arrived pretty quickly. So, pretty nice here. So, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to keep bringing these videos to you all. So, more customizations, reviews. If you haven't checked out, the Monolith review, check that out real quick. And then I'm also doing a lot of Predator Clan reviews if you're into the Predator line. Just not Predator reviews, I guess I am doing Predator reviews, but also Predator Clan stories, so kind of like lore, because I think there's so much cool history behind the Predators that we don't know about. So feel free to check that out too, if you get the chance. But yep, so that was Medieval Spawn Review, and I will catch you all in the next video.